To get the peace, to keep the peace, to get to me. And we want about it. I'm forward. You made me what I'm not. Me love, baby. 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 You there? Come on, testing. Stuff, baby. This is us, baby. Don't me tight. Feel my heart. My heart. Mm. Far in my heart. Take it all away. Dun 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 dun. Girls, body city is cold. You gonna meet you some folks. All right, cool. Yo, y'all, I'm back. Welcome to another Real Estate Lunchbox. It is me, Leon Duncan. I am your real estate agent, broker, investor, wholesaler, flipper, fix and flipper, 20 years in the business. Hailing out of the city of Atlanta. Oh, no. Or at least that metropolitan area. Hey, man, thanks for grabbing this show. I know you passing by. You're probably seeing it. Facebook, TikTok. Right now, not TikTok. On YouTube, I think we're up to like 2,500 subscribers so far. And I appreciate you guys showing love to your boy. Man, it means a lot to me. When I started doing this in November, I said, I'm just going to do it. I'm going to do it every day, do it 3 times out the week. And I do this around when I'm doing my real estate business or working in real estate, helping people find what they need to find, doing deals. And I always believed if I could change what my life was like 20 years ago when I first started real estate and some of the things that I knew that I had to learn later on, I would change that. I would share it with people so that they don't have to go through all of that same crap that I went through. And I've been through a lot of crap. I've won, I've lost, and I can tell you, I don't know about Grant Cardone. Oh, no. But, of course, I'm no Grant Cardone, whatever they do. And we'll talk about people and money one day, too, because that's a completely different conversation. But my goal is really just to give you insight, add value to your life. 3 days out the week. Sometimes we do reaction videos. Sometimes we just react to what's in the news. And I tell you and show you the things that I wish I knew so you can get out there and make money. This is not a guru thing. I don't need you to buy a course or even subscribe or jump in the school community. You're welcome to, but it's not up yet. So all you got to do is listen to me and I'll give you all the jewels here. Man, if you got a question, real estate question, finance questions, anything like that, just shoot it into the comments. I'll be happy to answer any of those questions you may have. But shoot, man, it's a good day. It's a good day. It's a good day in the A.
Congratulations. Yes. Well done.
Yes, let's rock. Let's get it going. So, man, I wanted to start off with a story that I saw out of Maryland, and I thought this was crazy. And I can tell you, I lived in Maryland, Severn, Anne Arundel County, right next to Fort Meade. That's my first duty station, Fort Meade. Oh, no. My first military duty station. But when I saw this, I thought it was very interesting. You got a lot of families, people beginning to move down south. They're beginning to move. I did a reaction video and I posted it. I think it went up yesterday. If it's not up, it'll probably be up soon. About black families moving down south and what they're seeing. Now, this is just families, period, moving out of Maryland, headed down south, specifically Florida. They want to chase the billionaires that are out there going to Florida, Billionaire Island. You know, I tell people, y'all can run to Florida. This is going to be reality. Florida's going to get a bunch of people that come to it, and they're going to say, we got a lot of people. Let's start raising some taxes. We got a new tax we got to put out, because that's just how government happens, and that's how it runs. When they're in the favorable position and you're not there, or you're there and they'll hang you out. They'll find some way to get more money out of you, some way. But for right now, Florida's a big haven, and I miss Florida, man. You know what I miss about Florida? Not paying taxes on your doggone state taxes. I hate that. I hate not. I'm glad Florida has no state taxes. There's something about chilling at the beach. Back in the day, it was with I wasn't even drinking Corona at that time. I think it was Heineken, or Guinness. It was one of them. I'm chilling at the beach with a cigar. Yeah, that was man, for 3 years. Shoot, it took a while to get that tummy down because you sitting like, yo, boy. But either way, man, moving from Maryland down to Florida, let's talk a little bit more about this, and I'm going to share with you. Please, if you got questions on this, answer any questions, ask any questions, and I will answer what I know.
For most people, affordability is top of mind right now. Here in Maryland, the cost of living continues to climb, from housing prices, gas prices, to utility bills.
For some families, moving out of Maryland is the most affordable option for them. Spotlight on Maryland's Tessa Bentulin explains why a family of 6 is leaving the state they've called home for Florida, where they say their money will go further.
Pat Carey and his family of 6 are in the final hours of packing up their life in Maryland.
You are literally in the middle of moving right now.
Yes. We are, we're having it all happen. We are moving. We have the bulk of it going. We have the realtor getting ready to show up here probably in the next half hour as well. So it's all happening
It's all happening within a couple of hours.
Very quickly, just like the entire decision to move.
Good Lord. It'll be a miracle if we make it to Florida.
In just a few days, Pat, his wife Jasmine, and their 4 children, ages 3 to 9, will begin the roughly 14-hour drive to Florida's Space Coast.
Hour south of Orlando.
At first glance, leaving Rethinking, Maryland doesn't make much sense.
He said, you're moving. Tell me it wasn't the mail service.
If only we could take you with us. It wasn't the mail service, that's for sure.
Both Pat and Jasmine have good jobs.
Yep, you can sit that in there for me.
Their children's grandparents live nearby, and they've built a life surrounded by friends in this neighborhood.
But it's a little too heavy.
What's Florida that's not in Maryland?
Wow, just sunshine, better, quality of life. The cost of living is, just more affordable, better school systems.
For the Careys, the decision came down to what their money could buy.
And I think when we're looking at the quality of living, the cost of living, and where you could be given your bang for buck, it just makes total sense for us to move to Florida.
Pat says when they bought this house 6 years ago, homes in their Linthicum neighborhood were selling for under $400,000. Now, many are listed for $500,000 or more.
Literally 5 houses down. They're asking closer to 600, so we'll be lower than that, but we're trying to sell quickly.
Jasmine says the same pressure is also showing up in their monthly bills.
We just feel like that we're so tied down here with the cost of living in Maryland. We just will have, more financial freedom.
She says their BG&E bills have climbed from about $250 a month to $500 or more a month in the last 6 years.
It's not, like I said, it's not going down, that's for sure.
So the couple sat down and compared the numbers. In Florida, they will move into a nearly 3,000 square foot home with 5 bedrooms, 3 bathrooms, and a pool for roughly $490,000. Compare that to their current home, which is 2,200 square feet, 4 beds.
Yeah, let's compare this. 2,200 square feet, 3,000 square feet. You got 5 bedrooms, 4 bath in Maryland. 3 bathrooms, 2.5 baths in Maryland. You're talking about a $10,000 difference. I think when they're looking at this, they're also considering too that they don't have to pay income tax, but they do have to pay a higher sales tax, which a lot of people don't talk about. You got higher sales taxes, but honestly, I kind of feel like the sales tax thing is one of those things where I think it's more beneficial than even paying your income tax out of every freaking check that you get, bonus, commissions, anything like that. I mean, you're paying sales tax. For $10,000, is it worth that much of a move? Would you move to Florida from Maryland or from wherever you're at in order to save money like this? Because to me, I'm thinking if they bought it for 400,000, they're going to sell it for 500 or in the fives. They're going to make a little bit of profit. That's true, but most of that money is going to go down to the new house at 490,000 or around that price point in Florida. That is, they might get a better. I think it's also the quality of living. That's my personal opinion. My personal opinion is if you're going to move from one place to the next, you got to consider the quality of living. Quality of living, friends, nightlife, income first, please. Don't take friends and nightlife first. I just thought of that first. People say, you gonna put income last after friends and night? No, I'm not. What I'm saying is we're at a place right now when you get to a certain place, like he's got a family of 6. I got a family of 4. You know, I got a family of what now? Damn, I got a family of 6 too. If you count them, of course, yeah, it's a family of 6. The reality of it is, yeah, it is better to stay. I don't know if I would make that move, but the cost, but if I had to do it for the quality of living, I would do that move for quality of living. Because where we're at right now, man, if you guys are chasing money and all you think about is money, 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 and you don't consider the quality of life, you will find out that you will do all these moves based on money. And this life is so short. This life is so freaking short. It was 20 years ago when I was doing real estate, when I first started doing real estate. I never thought I would blink my eyes, be 4 kids and 20 years down a lane, you know? But heck, that's what happens, you know? So if you're sitting back and you think that if the quality of life isn't important, you get some kids around you and you're going to be hoping and praying for a backyard and a gazebo or a deck that you can sit out on and let them just go do what they do inside. Quality of life is heck of important. And I think even when money gets tighter, the quality of life even becomes more important. What you put down and what you invested in up to that point.
And 2.5 baths.
Do you think you'll save money moving down south?
Definitely, definitely. I mean, we're looking at what we can buy here in Maryland for, X price, and what we can buy in Florida is just, night and day, night and day.
The move will also be for Pat's new job that comes with a pay increase. And in Florida, there is no state income tax. In Maryland, income tax is at a progressive rate.
Smart man. That is a smart man. I love that. That's exactly what I love. If you're watching this right now, that's exactly what you should be looking for. Man, the time to impress these people out here that are broke, busted, hating on you, disgusted, they don't like what you do, or they don't like themselves, or they mad at the life decisions that they made in their personal life, and then they want to put it out on you. Hell yeah. You need to ignore them jokers and follow this right here. I would do it. To me, but if the quality of life isn't there, if you don't feel like that's where you want to be at, then don't do it. But honestly, I think this is a season for making a lot of changes because it is still a buyer's market. And I can guarantee he might be selling whatever he's selling in Maryland. Once that thing sells, God hoping it sells, they'll be able to adjust that sales price to get that thing sold if they have enough space in it, in equity, and buy something in Florida probably for a whole lot cheaper. Yeah, a whole lot cheaper. A whole lot cheaper. Florida has a different thing going on. Florida also has right now, Florida's seeing an influx in foreclosures, and they're leading the country in the amount of foreclosures that actually hit the market. So if you're someone and you do business remotely when it comes to real estate, some of us do virtually. I have people that do virtual real estate all over the country. Some do in Texas, Detroit, Philly, different places. This is what I'm talking about when we say the advantage is that market being upside down is going to be a good advantage for him. Not upside down, but facing foreclosures, high ranked up there for foreclosures is going to be a good advantage for him. Asset management company putting new properties on the market that they've already foreclosed. Families moving from New York, Maryland, to D.C. metropolitan area down here to Florida. Well, I'm not in Florida, but Georgia and Florida. I mean, you can't beat it. This is what you look for. Do not pay attention to what people are going in. Do not get into panic in this market. You were not designed to panic. If you want to panic, you can. But I tell you, when you panic, you lose opportunities, you miss opportunities. Your mind can't settle and see opportunities sometimes that are staring you right in the face. Let's go.
For them, more income and lower taxes makes the move a financial win. But the Kerry's decision reflects a broader concern in Maryland. Last year, the state comptroller warned of a housing crisis, citing a shortage of about 100,000 homes. A state report found that high housing costs are pushing young people and middle-income families to look elsewhere, just like the Kerrys. Maryland is gaining new residents, but more people are leaving than arriving. Over 127,000 residents left Maryland for other states between 2021 and 2023, and another 18,000 left between July 2023 and July 2024.
The real struggle is to actually keep people here and to grow.
Darius Arani, a chief economist with Towson University, estimates the state lost hundreds of millions of dollars in tax revenue as residents moved out.
So in Maryland, the average household pays about $8,000 a year in state taxes. So according to the comptroller's report, 127,000 residents left. If you figure there's about 2.6 people per household, that means it's about $385 million in lost tax revenue over those 3 years. So
that can have a major impact, especially at a time when Maryland just closed a $3 billion budget deficit. He says that trend could force harder choices in the years ahead, including the possibility of raising taxes.
And that's what they want to do. So I don't like to have this blue state, red state discussion. Honestly, I don't, because if you want to know my true thoughts, it's evolved over time. I used to have that red state, blue state thing going on. Yeah, it was red state, blue state. Honestly, it is all about you and your pocketbook right now, your money. It's all about you and your future investments right now. If your future investment and your pocketbook, your portfolio says it's going to increase by moving to Florida, go do it. If it's going to increase by moving in Tennessee and you blue, go do it. Because half of the time you'll find out, I grew up in Philadelphia, and I'm going to give you an example. Half the time you're going to find out that it's not what you think it is in your head when you get there anyway. You might have a better life. Unfortunately, a lot of the blue states that are headed by blue state governors aren't seeing that influx coming in. They may be some, but not as much right now. Not outside of their normal influx. So you have to pay attention to what works for you. Do not get caught up in this political game. Do not be drawn into it. We got enough propaganda that's out there. I'm going to tell you, because it's not about the propaganda. It is about the bag. Oh, no. It's about you securing your bag money. And if that means that you transition from Maryland down there, I moved from Philly down to Georgia, from a blue state down to a red state, and I love it. We'll never move back up north again. Matter of fact, I did a report, just reacted to a video, like I said earlier, about African Americans moving down to the South and the benefits of them down there, and how it's been an influx of African Americans moving down to the South. If you do not see that reaction video, first like, subscribe, follow, and go watch the video. But it's there because there is some truth behind this. We can't be emotionally led people. We have to be looking at the numbers. We have to look at what am I going to give up in order to get this? Where? What am I going to give up in order to get it? Where? So if you're going to make as much money or make a little bit more money, have the tax advantages, because the taxes, that's the biggest thing. Taxes is the biggest thing. It's the biggest thing on your house. Even if you're a renter, taxes are the biggest thing that still affects you, because the landlord gets a tax bill and he ends up now having to charge you the increase in the difference, the deficit he sees in that tax bill. So don't scream, my rent is going up. This is why your rent is going up, taxes and insurance. So if I can bring that down, that tax burden, hey, I would do it, hands in, back and back. So part of me saying this is to encourage you to stop using what the media gives us as our pivoting points for the decisions we make, and do the research for yourself. Like, please do it. Please. Because I truly believe, and I've seen it already, there's going to be an influx of propaganda. They will keep it going. It will keep going and keep going, pushing out a message for you. But you got to understand, it doesn't matter what they're pushing. It's all about what you do with your money. Boom. I'm going to throw this article up about Atlanta because the inventory in Atlanta right now is going through some changes, and I want y'all to see this.
And Metro Atlanta's housing market may be entering a new phase heading into the summer. Sales are down, pending contracts are falling fast, and inventory is climbing. All signs that demand may be easing even as prices hold steady. Now, at the same time, Google Trends are showing a spike in search patterns that look eerily similar to what we saw in 2008. And again, as the pandemic took hold in March of 2020. So that begs the question, what is really happening here? A healthy rebalancing or early stress signals? And joining me to talk about that is John Ryan. He's the Chief Marketing Officer of Georgia MLS. They are a real estate school in Tucker. And John, thank you so much for hopping on with me. I know there's a lot.
So I'm not going to listen to the whole thing with this. I went to school at Georgia MLS, so I know what type of school it is, what they stand on. There's two major MLSs in the state of in the Atlanta metropolitan area. Georgia has a bunch of doggone MLSs, but the two major ones are Georgia MLS and First MLS. And why is that important? Because they monitor and they track the data for on-market sales in Georgia, and any updates that you want to know. If your realtor is doing any type of work for you, he's going to give you data. She's going to give you data through one of these sources. If they're smart, they're going to go to other things like Keeping Current Matters and things like that to give you better data information, even down to your specific neighborhood. Okay. But inventory is staying on the market longer in Georgia. We are seeing an influx of buyers hitting the market. Some sellers are still scared and pulling off of the market. Some sellers won't sell this season. They won't sell. It doesn't matter. They won't have the ability to sell. See, I keep telling people this whole buyer-seller thing, this is the season to buy. This is the season to buy. This is a season to buy. This is a season to buy, to rehab, to rent, buy to rehab, to flip and sell. If you choose the right market, right area, right subdivision, like everything honestly has to be perfect in my opinion right now. If I'm going to flip anything, it's got to be stupid, perfect. I got to go to sleep in a coma, go to sleep, hit in a coma, wake up a year later. They say you still got that house over there. What you going to do with it? And I'm like, damn, is a buyer's market? They say yes, and I should be able to still sell it because the neighborhood didn't go through drastic changes in a year. And I know that's a lot for some people to take in, but you got to think of it like this. We always historically, as a people, as the people in the culture, we get these messages: buy, own, buy, own, buy. Yes, buy, own, buy, own, buy, build, create, own your own assets. At this point in time, if you're going to buy. Now, if you're going to sell, you got to be hecka strategic with it right now.
A lot of people who keep their eyes on the housing market and trying to look out for opportunities for themselves, their family. I mean, we're talking about homes, which is something everybody needs, whether you are buying or selling. So I want to start by asking what your reaction to the consumer behavior to these Google searches is.
Well, I think, Maria, that we're seeing a shift in the housing market, and it's something that we've seen really kind of happening over the last year or two. Kind of post-pandemic and when the pandemic was happening, it was a bit of a feeding frenzy with housing. I mean, we had very low inventory. There were multiple offers on houses. And the real struggle was for people that did see houses to go ahead and put in offers in that were accepted because of such low inventory. And now
I heard of realtors, I know I got multiple offers. Mine was at 10. 10 offers on a house, 8 offers. During that time, it wasn't crazy. You're like, oh, I got 8 offers. It's only been up 24 hours. One, I'm going to tell you, that still happens on some houses in some markets. In Atlanta specific markets, hint, Alpharetta, okay? Hint, Johns Creek. But specific markets, that thing would happen. Dude, it was crazy to see these people bidding 36, 40,000 over list price. I've never seen it before. This was my first time experiencing it in my career in 2020. I mean, we had multiple offers back in 2008, 9. See, you got to realize I was there when the market was crashing. I was there when the market crashed. Nobody wanted to touch anything. Houses were selling for $5,000 in Atlanta. This is why I created Real Estate Lunchbox, to be able to tell you when things like this are happening, what you should be doing. Because during that time, I'm going to tell you right now, bro, nobody was telling anybody anything. Okay? Unless you have friends that were actually buying, you would have not known if you're not in those specific circles that say, go over here. I prefer to break the box. I prefer to not gatekeep, not hold it in, to break the box. As long as you're not doing nothing crazy to me or against me, you're going to get all the goodness from me. Like, you're going to get all the info on what to do and what not to do. And I can't hold it back and say that the buyers don't have a great advantage right now, that the low inventory doesn't open a door for fix and flippers in the right neighborhoods, right asset, right product, right environment, right numbers. Everything just has to be right. It has to really be perfect. Now, if you're talking about buying and holding, this is the time to do it, as long as you're staying with that 1% rule like we talk about.
What we have seen is really a shift with inventory rising. It's giving buyers a lot more opportunity now, and they can be a little bit more cautious and a little less sense of urgency that we have seen in the past. So with that rise in inventory, I think we're seeing a shift to a really more of a balanced market. Previously, before, we had about 1 month's worth of inventory was available through the pandemic years, and now we're about 4.7 months of inventory that's available. So that gives more options to buyers, and it gives them the ability to take a little bit more time and a little bit more selective in the properties that they're viewing and possibly making offers on.
Yeah. So selection, being a heck of a lot selective in whatever you choose to buy right now. This is your best game, your best play when it comes to all of this. Hold on.
Do you think that now is a good time to buy a house?
Yes, if you're financially ready. Now, I still think, I believe in the economy, and the U.S. housing market will continue to go up over time. I don't think houses are going to be significantly cheaper in any point in the future, and history has proven that. I don't think there's going to be another 2008, fingers crossed, because we've solved a lot of the problems that caused that. But I think when
So if anybody asks you if this is 2008, I know people have this question. I get it sometimes. Are we living in a 2008 type of, is market crash? Like, is the market crashing? My answer to you is no, the market isn't crashing. I'm going to tell you the market won't crash, and we won't see crashes. We'll see foreclosures, but we won't see crashes. And the reason why won't see crashes, the previous 2008 crash had a lot to do with mortgage rates, interest rates being not fixed but variable, being able to fluctuate. All those things, when you put somebody into a variable interest rate and it's based upon the index at that time, and you'll have months where it's high, you'll have months where it changes, and then it's low. But during that time and season, nobody thought, damn, I shouldn't do a flexible interest rate right about now, especially when we're having challenges in the market. But they did that. They did that. So the mortgage portion, mortgage-backed securities, you guys heard that terminology before, okay, led to the downfall in 2008 of the market. We're talking about the subprime market. Now, there is no there is still a type of a subprime market, not like it was before. You still have subprime lenders that are out there, but even them, they have caps on what they can do too, because the best loans out there, FHA loans, they still have certain cutoff points that you have to meet in order to benchmarks that you have to meet in order to get those loans. So we're not dealing with a subprime market. But what we are dealing with, and this, I think this is very weird, is a stagnant market where people are holding on to houses longer, and you get why, because we just came from a low interest rate period. The reason Trump is trying to get these rates down, and they're pushing like pile out to get these rates down, I want you to understand this, because I tell people this is how you have to understand this thing. And you don't have to have the perfect and best understanding. You have to have a good foundation to begin to build off of it, because Trump is pushing him out because Trump wants the rates lower. Trump knows as long as you got lower rates, right, and that people have homes on 3%. I saw people with 2.5% rates. Hell no, I will not sell my house if it's a 2.5%. Oh no! I don't care if I'm going to a 3.5 or even a 4. It's just too golden. It's too Gucci, bro. It's just too Gucci. So you got people with these low rates, they not selling. And one of the messages in this program, I keep telling people when we talk about this value in real estate, I really want you to understand that if they're not selling, to all my investors out there, hint, hint, that's one reason why we have a low inventory. And hint, hint, you seeking, finding, providing rentals, providing the right type of fix and flip numbers will be the things that mom and pops can do to make money in this market and to help push their local market forward. Because it's only going to be them, and it's going to be the builders. And the builders are going to build and charge what they feel they need to charge and build. I'm out in Powder Springs, and crazy talk, I'm seeing from Powder Springs to Atlanta, builders doing houses 800 to 1.1 million. That is not a starter home. That's not. I can't afford that. I don't know if you can. You want to be rich, dude. I'm just a guy on the screen talking to you. Not a rich man. You know what I'm saying? Not a rich man. I'm fortunate, but not like I'll never buy $1 million house. Now you say I'll never buy it. I'm gonna say, okay, I'll buy it if I ever have to buy it. If this is a deal, I'll buy it. Okay, no lie. But honestly, I prefer to keep my expenses down. Also, who wouldn't? Who wouldn't rather rent a place, rent $1 million house, than actually buy it? You got the upkeep and the maintenance of something that much. See, all these things we got to think about, because it's not what you buy. I'm telling the buyers now, this is not what you cop. Lauryn Hill said it. It's what you keep. We got to talk about it, right? It's what you keep.
You have no debt, a fully funded emergency fund, and a down payment. You are financially ready to buy a house.
Yeah.
And so I wouldn't try to time the market and wait for the interest rates to move a certain way. I would go ahead and do that. We say, date the rate, marry the house.
Yeah. You know what's interesting? 84% of people.
One reason why you have to do that is there's no guarantee that rate is going to go down. If we get into a depression, which some people think that we're in already, some people believe it. Some of the economists are saying it. We're going from a recession into a depression. You're not going to see those rates drop. Okay? Take advantage of it, lock it in. Because one of the craziest things that a boomer can tell you, that anyone who grew up in the 80s can tell you, that anyone who owned a property in the 80s, I got a client that bought a property in the 90s, you know what I mean? An older guy, more mature, smart, intelligent. One of those things they'll tell you is you're not dealing with 12% rates, 11% rates, 15% rates that they dealt with back then, 80s, 90s. Dude, that's crazy. Imagine getting a 18 or 15 or 12% rate on a house. You think that a 5% rate has you, or even a 5.5 or even a 6 has you like, baby, can we do this? If it ever gets to that place, the market is toast. Okay, we're talking about less income coming into the average home, and overpriced homes, and the price doesn't even the house doesn't even have to be overpriced. It can be the same regular 300, 250,000 starter home. It won't be affordable. The rates will be too high, way too high. Go get it now.
Say that now is a bad time to buy a house. 84%.
Is that because of prices and interest rates?
Yes.
Okay.
Interest rates were the number one reason that overtook home prices. So it's because of interest rates that that number is so high. You know, the last time it was also similarly high.
When's that?
2010.
Wow.
Isn't that interesting?
Interesting. So after the housing crisis.
Yes. A lot of people also felt now is a bad time to buy. So it's very interesting because I was having a discussion with somebody.
Best times to buy.
Exactly.
Looking back.
So I was having a discussion with somebody the other day, and we were talking about how so many people say now is a bad time to buy. But if you typically do the opposite of what the mass seems to think is the better option, usually that kind of works. Like, to me, it's hard to wrap my mind around it when I see home prices so high, mortgages so high, the cost of renting so cheap relative to that. But, you know, when you look at what most people are doing, if you just do the opposite, in most cases, you're better off.
You're better
That's
off.
fascinating.
So it'll be very interesting
Way
to see
better.
what happens over these next 10 years. If interest rates come down, I guess there's a chance.
And that's the key. You can't go to do what everybody else is doing. And I know that sounds, you're like, Leon, we're not stupid. We're very intelligent. We know you can't do what everybody else is doing. But I want you to think about it even deeper. Everybody's listening to what the media is saying concerning real estate. Everybody's hearing that it's a buyer's market. Everybody's hearing go buy, like it's a buyer's market. The rates are the best they'll ever be. So you have a mass influx of people running and chasing to buy houses. But like he said at the beginning, if your money isn't right, if your investing isn't there, if you don't have money to the side, if you don't have a down payment that you can do and not be struggling once you get into the house, that's great. It took us 2 months to actually move into our house after we bought it. We had to go through paint. I had to go through paint, change floors, change doors. I mean, I bought for a deal. You know, some people don't. Sometimes, I hate to say, some of y'all women, ladies, you are out there looking for the perfect house. Dude, there is no perfect house. You're going to find houses that have a lot of stuff going on with it that, look, see, I didn't cuss. Have a lot of stuff going on with it that you may not like it cosmetically. Think about the neighborhood. Is it close to the schools? Is it close to relatives or friends that you want to be close to? Okay. Can your kids play, if you have age kids play in the street without, or play outside without having issues? All these things we spoke about, quality of life. This is, if that's there and there's a reason to buy there that's already built in. Like for some people, they move into homes that are close to the school, and that school is like an 8, 9, or 10. And I'm breaking it down in the simplest form so you understand it. Okay? You got a question, ask a question, drop a comment below, I'll answer it. But this is it. Like, so now they don't have to go, they can go and build value, live in a house, pay the bills, keep the house, right? Do updates to the house. What's going to make that sell faster is the things that surround the house. So you don't just buy the house. Like I tell people, you buy the neighborhood, you buy the area around it, you buy the stores down the street, you buy the schools that are connected, that your kids feed from grade school to middle school to high school in. And if it's ranked 7, 8, 9, 10, I like 8, 9, 10. Okay. If it's ranked 8, 9, 10, ooh, baby, when you get ready to sell, I'm going to tell you something really Gucci. Even if the market is against the average seller, it won't be against you. It won't be against you because you bought right. You don't make money. You don't make money in real estate when you sell. You actually make money in real estate when you buy, if you've heard that before. People say it a lot. And it's true. It is true because you bought in the right place.
Everyone rushes into
But
the
here's
market.
the thing, and you can tell me this,
Yeah.
if interest rates go down, we're probably going to see a spike in home prices.
Yes and no. The variable to that is how many sellers sell. So right now we're seeing high home prices because there's
But
not a lot
nobody
of
wants to
inventory.
sell because they're low interest rates.
But if interest rates go down to about 5%, they're saying that's the magic number where all of a sudden, if I have a 3.5% mortgage, it doesn't hurt as much to give that up for 5%, but it does to 6%.
Interesting.
And so they're saying 5% is the magic number that would prompt more sellers to sell who are thinking about selling, who have those handcuffs. So there's a chance interest rates come down, buyers come in the market, but there's a lot of sellers who say, oh, finally, I could, afford to buy something else and not have to worry about it. I don't care about giving up my 4% mortgage for 5%. It's not that big of a deal. So maybe the market gets flooded with inventory. There's also the theory that as that flood comes in, more sellers will say, oh, the market's going down. I'm thinking about.
Now, these are theories. You hear what he's saying. Oh, it's also the theory. It's also the theory. I tell people these are theories. Like, nobody has a glass ball and they say that this is the best place to buy and the market's going to do this and do that. If anybody tells you, it's a lie. Like, it's not true. All you can do is take good principles, proven history, any historical data, and just go with that. And that's the job of your agent. Your agent should be to provide you with accurate historical data and a good strategy in order to execute the purchase or execute the sale. That's why we can only look at historical data. And occasionally we'll get a 2020, which is a black swan type of event. Nobody saw that thing coming. But I think it's weird. Like, we still have like black swan residue. I think, is that a good word? Black swan residue in the economy? Because, yeah, it's an economy right now with a lot of black swan residue, but no black swans. It's like they came up in the economy, hit it, and left. I guess I did. Okay, cool. But that's the facts. That's the facts, you know? So knowing that, you have to get acquainted with knowing how to think in this type of real estate market. But it still starts with knowing some basic things: buyer market, seller market, like we've been talking about. But these are all theories. So I can't sit back when Trump be talking about, man, hey, I'm about to go ahead and take all the institutional buyers out of the market and they going to get penalized and then we're going to end up doing it. It's theory. And what's worse about these theories, I tell you, is the theory's good right now. We're halfway through this administration. November, December, we'll be halfway through 2 years of this administration. 2 more years of it. After that 2-year period, it's a wrap. Whatever comes after that, you never know. You might end up having a switch in administration, which they don't even see it like that. They don't even see what he's seeing. No, we don't like it. We need to be doing this. You got to be ready to pivot, but you can't pivot if you're too emotional about the administration, if you're too emotional about the season, if you're not looking and knowing the basics. Yeah, that's it. This program is more for a beginner than an advanced. I do talk advanced techniques sometimes when I do reaction videos, but honestly, a lot of what I speak about is really beginner information. And I tell people, you don't need to pay $5K for a guru to guide you. You really just got to commit to learning and doing the work, because a lot of this free information like I'm giving you is out there. Now, when we talk about techniques and what to do with this, that, and other more step-by-step plays, that's the lunchbox. You know what I'm saying? That's it. But this right here, this is enough for you to go online, do additional research, because I wish my people would do more independent research. I wish you would, so you could say no more than yes. Say no. There's nothing wrong with saying no. Forget that book that said yes to everything. Say no, okay? If it doesn't match what you've learned, and it's okay to do that.
In 5 years, but let me sell it now really quick before values go down even further. And my neighbors are selling, and let me
get spooked.
Let me beat them to it, and I'll price myself a little lower than they are. There's a chance. There's also a chance people say, I'm going to hold on to my house, and see what happens. And buyers have more purchasing power, and values go up. Mm-hmm. It's a total coin toss. I wish like there should be a way to figure out what's going to happen in this and like run the numbers.
But I think the key is like, we're not going to see a crash, regardless of what your thumbnail said. But I know what you say in the video. It's not going to happen.
Gotta watch the video.
Like, the crash is happening. And I'm like, no, it's not. Don't lie to me, Graham. So I still have faith.
The shocking thing is that like monthly payments are up like 70% since 2020. Now that is low in terms of monthly payments.
Sure.
But like when you think 70% more.
Yeah. So increases in insurance, that's the big thing, along with the taxes, but more insurance. That affects that. When you have these insurance companies that are leaving Georgia, Florida, California, of course, California, Texas, some of these other cities, and they're deciding they're going to do business in specific areas, to me, that's the criminal activity right there. That's it. It's criminal to bounce out of the commitments that you've already made in that state and go do business somewhere else. And now you leave people dangling. And there's tons of people who had to rush. I was one of them. I had to rush to find homeowners insurance now. And I had to do that. This was months and months, a year or two ago. I think it was a year ago. But they're still moving out. A lot of people are still having those issues. Okay? So this real estate game, man, it's twofold. I mean, you got to realize that this insurance thing can heavily affect your profit on the inside. But like he said, 70% more in interest rates, 70% more in payments. It's not just the appreciation. It's really not, because the appreciation can be handled if the rates, appreciation meaning you're paying more because it's value more and they're selling it more. But it could be handled if the interest rates wasn't as crazy as they are right now. I mean, not the interest rate, the insurance rates wasn't as crazy as they are right now. That's always going to stop buying and selling. It's a crazy thing to see your statement, your principal, your interest, your taxes, and then your insurance. Oh God, that insurance, doggone insurance. Oh no, doggone insurance.
Those interest rates, I mean,
years.
it definitely compounds
Yeah.
that payment, and it hurts people, and it makes it less affordable.
But at what price, at what point does that impact prices? I mean, a 70% increase in monthly payments from those who bought 3 years ago to today.
Yeah.
How much do home prices have to come down to balance things out, if at all?
Only time will tell.
I don't know. Probably a little bit, probably a lot of bit, probably in between, just a touch. It looks good, but it may not be good. It could be good. We're still checking it out. We're still checking it out to see how good it is. It may be. But yo, this is the game. Like, this is what we dealing with when you talk about the market. Okay? Just some stuff. I gotta keep y'all up to date. I gotta keep y'all up to date. Real estate lunchbox, my man. I gotta keep y'all up to date. Please like, subscribe, follow. Don't just watch me. Share it with a friend. Tell them. Okay? Because I'm still a believer that all of this fear that's out here, this fear is going to stop people from moving. That's what anxiety and fear does. It cripples your movement. You don't move with anxiety or fear. You don't. You think about it once, you think about it twice. You may think about it 4 to 5 times, because anxiety cripples you. It makes you do more analyzing than actual action. And then when you act, you start questioning yourself. Should I have done this? Maybe I would have done it differently. And that's not the place you have to be in when you deal with real estate. You don't want that. If there's a hint of I should not or remorse, and you haven't like really started the deal, or you're like in the middle of it, you can still pull out. Just pull out and lose the money. Look, this is I am not your realtor. This is for entertainment purposes. I'm just telling you that's what I would do. That's what I would do, and y'all would be entertained. Are you not entertained? Oh, no. Y'all would be entertained. Because if you don't, what you feel will only amplify. It's not going nowhere. Because somewhere in you, there's something in your gut that's saying, this deal is not right for me. Just do it. Don't do it then. Don't do it. Don't do it. Anxiety will keep a lot of people down during the season. But the people who can look anxiety and fear right in the face, regardless of how it's coming at you, regardless of whatever it's saying, will be the people who win. You'll be the people who win. Like, if you want to know how to win right now in this climate, freaking face your fears. Slap them across the face. Just know you are who you are, that God made you who you are, and your Father got your back. Plain and simple. Go do the work. And that's it. And just go do it. Now, I had to cover this because I thought this was wow. This was crazy. Hey, please like, subscribe, follow for more content. We've got students questioning their degree, should they get it, if it's even worth it. And they're questioning it in massive amounts, way more than they did before AI ever came on the scene. And I'm going to tell you what I think about that.
Commencement season is underway around the country, but this season's celebrations come at a sobering moment for many public colleges and universities confronting major challenges: funding cuts, attacks from the Trump administration, and declining enrollment prospects. For their part, students are facing steep loans and too often dicey job prospects, especially in this era of artificial intelligence. That's led many to openly question whether a college degree is even worth it anymore. Economics correspondent Paul Salman visited the state of Michigan to find out how some schools and students are approaching this question. It's part of our series, Rethinking College.
Anyone else feel like their college degree was absolutely not worth what they paid for it?
This is a feeling that's all the rage on TikTok.
I'm literally 22 years old and jobless. That college degree, I guess, means nothing because I've literally been applying to jobs for 6 months.
And thus a
Now, I'm gonna pause this real quick. What did she get her degree in? What are your children going to school to get their degree in right now? Is that investment going to be a good return after 4 years? These are all questions that I think African American families don't even ask enough. We look at this as some attainment of some holy grail, when in reality, all it is the same investment that you make in buying real estate. You're just making it into yourself right now because you're the asset. Oh no. So as an asset, which you are, would you turn around and this is how you have to talk to your kids. I told my daughter this. This is how you have to talk to your kids. If I make this investment and it is 30,000, 40,000, 50,000, whatever that number is a year, can I see myself now getting out and making the equivalent of what my cumulative investment in myself was for that 4 years? Do I see myself making that back? And if I will make it back, how long will it take? Will it take 5 years, 10 years, 15 years? All these things are important because just like you wouldn't buy a piece of property and let it sit down there and not make any money for you, you've already wrapped in, tied in some cases for some people, 50, 100,000, whatever they spent to get that asset. They will want that asset to be income producing. Everything now needs to be viewed as an asset. Your life is an asset. Your time is an asset. Your brain is an asset. The information you deposit into your brain creates a brand new level of asset. That means it creates a brain that knows more than it knew before. So knowing these things, make the investment in assets. When people say assets over liability, I love that little token flair. That and wealth, what is it? Generational wealth. These are punchlines. They need to be buried in the grave, tossed out in the sea, and please put a rope to the leg of that phrase and let it drown. Let it drown. Generational wealth. Because this is how you build generational wealth. The decision process, that mindset, that thinking of, if I make this investment, because for some people, when they go to school, the networking channel that school offers is the asset. If they don't have a very strong networking channel, and I'll be honest with you, if it doesn't carry weight, then the name doesn't carry weight, then how do we now determine if it's valuable? We determine by what we invest in and the rate of return that we will get on our educational investment. Okay?
I'm charged against higher ed these days.
I truly believe that going to college only set me back farther from the goals I wanted to achieve and where I wanted to be in life.
The cost of a degree just too damn pricey, given the iffy benefit of a job today, much less a job tomorrow.
On the scale of 1 to 10, how worried are you about going into the world of work now?
I'd give it an 8 as of now.
1 to 10?
Probably about a 7 or 8. The larger climate for entry-level jobs right now is really hard and scary as somebody, as you're graduating or anticipating graduation.
And yet these are students at Michigan State University, where the president, Kevin Guskowitz, boasts
93% of our graduates over the last 5 years have been placed before they graduated in either a first job or to graduate school.
At much smaller Eastern Michigan University, the same job anxiety.
Is that a flex, though? So you said 95% were placed in a job or either a graduate school. See, to me, I want to know how much of that 95% was graduate school, how much was job. And even in getting a job, anybody can get a damn job. Well, right about now, not everybody's getting a job, Leon. Oh, no. Okay. But on average, yes, okay, getting a job in its general sense is something that's accomplishable. Okay, you can accomplish getting a job. It's not about getting a job. It's about, does that job return the investment level that's necessary for it to make sense for you future. And I'm saying this simply because I went to public school. Yes, I graduated. I started in private school. Then went to. Yes, I graduated. Went to college. Spent money in college. Took out college student loans, even with the military. Yeah, I did, because they covered up to a certain amount. College student loans. And I'm sitting at the table one day, and just God impresses on my spirit audibly. Go get your real estate license. The rate of return, having a license, the knowledge that you get, I can lose my license tomorrow and still know what to pivot and do in real estate. I still can. Matter of fact, some people they call me crazy because I still have a license, because in real estate, you really don't want to have a license when you do investment property deals. But I find all the other ways to do it with a license, legit. But you do, and that lifetime of having that 20 years has benefited. Would your college degree have paid off as much? Would it have gotten you in high income situations? Will you feel like, do you feel like the life balance, because this is what we keep talking about, the quality of life, would be the same or better? Do you? These are questions we have to ask.
How worried are you on a scale of 1 to 10?
I'll go with a 7. I know Eastern will hold like career fairs and everything, but it's not necessarily guaranteed. So you never know.
How scared are you on a scale of 1 to 10? 1, no fear at all. 10, terrified.
I would say I'm at like an 8.5, like really high. Yeah, it's all very scary to me.
Didn't used to be this way, of course. A wage premium for a college degree has far outweighed the cost for as long as anyone can remember. Those with a degree earning $1 million or more over their lifetimes, compared to folks with just a high school diploma. But nowadays, the question is...
I've always questioned that. I've always questioned it. I like having those with a degree earning 1.2 million more than those who don't have degrees. I don't know. I always question it, because one, I've always felt, and I've seen it happened over time. I started realizing that a lot of people were getting degrees to validate themselves, okay, to make themselves look more important than what they actually were. To, like, I don't care about your degree. I care about, can you get the job done? Do you do it? Do you do it proficiently? Excellence? Can it be? Yeah, that's it. Where some people really got it as a badge of honor, and they're dealing with the debt now, and they're not even working in a space that they work in. See, I would love for them to do a stat that says how many people got a degree actually work in the same field they got the degree in. Then we can talk. Then we can actually talk. Because low effort, which they're saying is, well, they're actually saying people who don't have a degree kind of show low effort. And that's the lie. I know people who don't have degrees that grind and make great freaking money, and they live a better life than the ones who actually do have a degree. And they don't even, when I say grind, I'm not, one of the things we talk about here is we're not for grind culture. We're not here for hustle culture. We're here for long-term growth, and we're here for education and information, right? But you still got people that get out there and they can do a level of hustle or energy, you want to call it, and they're focused and they're specific. They know where they're going. They have what's called a plan. If your only plan is to go to school, get a degree, and get a job, then your plans are really not all that great. Matter of fact, it's actually against you more, because you're going to come out in the negative. You don't even have a plan. They don't even have plans to exit out with the information and the degree obtained and make a certain amount of money. That should be your plan. I never hear anybody say, very few times do I hear people say, yeah, I'm going to graduate, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that, I'm going to do that, I'm going to do this, and in 5 years, I'm going to be at 100, or 5 years, I'll be at 200, or multiple six figures. Very rarely do you see that type of plan, because we thrust our kids, we thrust adults, we idolize this thing as being the way out. This is not the way out. That's not the way out. That's not the way out. The way out... I'm going to put it like this. I believe that everybody has a specific design. Not everybody's designed to go to school. Not everybody's designed to go to a 4-year school, a 4-year college. Some people just need a community college, get a 2-year degree. Some people just need to go to a community college. Some people need to go online, work on it on the side. So I don't have a problem with it if I'm spending $15,000 or $10,000 for the life of my degree to get it. Then hell, I'll get it. I'll flex and put the stuff on the wall because I spent $10K for it, and then I'll find something to do along with what I do already that pays me back my $10K investment and also sets me up for future profit increase. That's how we got to look at this. It's got to be looked at more strategically.
Is the education worth the price?
It was my cheapest option, so.
How much does it cost?
I come here for under $4,000 a year.
Compared to a national average,
that is dope. That is dope. $4,000 a year at Michigan University. I'll take it every day.
Of about $27,000 at public universities. Out of state cost, nearly double. So a stratospheric price tag, as much as 6 times the price of the BA at my school back in the 60s, inflation adjusted. The main suspects, major growth in specialized programs and the personnel to support them, part of what's been called administrative bloat.
So, perfect example. My daughter goes to school. She's studying engineering. Great degree. Great space. Great space. How do we now maximize her in that space? We first start just like with real estate. You buy right. You choose the right school and you buy your degree right. Buying your degree right can be going to a state-based school, might not be the highest one that you want to go to, but you're going to get a degree that's side by side with another degree. And in some cases, you can actually transfer to the school that you want to transfer in those last 1 or 2 years of it. If it's paid for, if they can finance it and it's not going to exceed what you were paying your first 2 years at whatever school you were going to that was low cost. Hint, hint.
There's also the amenities arms race, rec centers, food courts, climbing walls. But most significantly for major public schools, years of cuts in federal and state funding, all of which has led to an affordability crisis and declining enrollments at places like Eastern Michigan, not to mention schools now going extinct. So what's a university president to do?
We have to adapt with the changing landscape of society and of the various industries that higher education has to serve.
For Michigan State, that means reaching out to its 550,000 person alumni base and asking them what skills are most important for the modern workforce.
Wow.
Bring alums.
Wow. This just shows me how much schools are slow to adapt. And that's cool. I love the fact that he said reach out to your existing work base, like alumni work base, because you have working information right there, working knowledge. They'll tell you what they're looking for, their employer's looking for, things like that. I get that. But damn, that's so far behind. See, schools, the other reason we see a lot of questioning of this is largely because schools are slow to adapt. Even though it's a 4-year college, even though it's a 4-year program, the school, not all schools, but majority of brick and mortar schools are slow to really, truly adapt, okay? When I say adapt, we're talking about technology, AI specifically, pivoting, and making those roles. And because of that, and because they were draining all of us, now you get the Trump administration that goes out there and they say, hey, we're limiting how much people can borrow for a degree to terms and levels that have to make sense. God, I'm telling y'all, terms and levels. We don't, and he got criticized with it. He got criticized by it. And I do believe in some ways it was a little drastic, but I do also believe that there are some good points to it. You shouldn't be spending $100,000 to get a psychology degree that ain't going to pay you real money, that you're going to turn around and become a counselor working for the city or the municipality or DFACS or one of these places, and you're going to be coming in at $35,000, $40,000. And you got to live, and that's going to easily be a good 30 off the top going to Uncle Sam, and then you're talking about another 10 to 15, 20% going towards the cost of living in some areas, the roof over your head. Then you're talking about another 5% going out to your car. Then we're not even talking about having a family or even buying food or even having some type of life that has value and some, I don't say value, has exciting life, quality life. That's not quality. You got to go back and get your master's. Then you go and you spend another 100, and then you got to go back and get your PhD because you want to talk to people like I'm talking to people and make them listen to you in a seat, in a chair, right? That hint. When you said and done, you 200, 300, 400 in a hole. And even as a master in a PhD in psychology, you got to figure out, is it better for me to just get on YouTube and start talking to people than go get a psychology degree? Oh my gosh, bro. But it is the pride of life that I'm talking about. It is the desire to be esteemed that I'm talking about. It is the thing that's entwined in there that they don't talk about as much. And you feel insignificant. You feel unvalued, without any value out here. And you're like, hey, I'm nothing. And I've seen new graduates get depressed. I've seen them get depressed. What am I going to do? Because their life was built up as education, high school, college. And all they know is that is the hamster wheel or the wheel they were set on to take them to a place that they thought was great, but it's not that it was bad. It just wasn't thought out far enough. That's it. Because if it was thought out far enough, some of the beginning decisions that were made wouldn't have been made.
To the table, create a think tank group and learn from them about what it is that would be attractive to them if they were going to hire an alumnus.
So the focus is on hiring, on getting jobs for grads.
It is, and creating internships are so important today, so much more than ever before.
Brendan Kelly, the newly installed president of Eastern Michigan University, agrees.
Landscapes change, and the businesses that are serving those landscapes have to change with them. Higher education hasn't done that very well. Our business is rooted in the student and then has to be connected to their participation in the economy after graduation.
A favorite example of the president's, student Megan Davis's ankle brace project.
And I said, so was it successful? And she goes, no. I said, why are you so excited? She goes, because now I know that won't work.
It wasn't necessarily a failed project. It was an experimental project just to see what would happen. I learned it didn't work for this specific patient, but it could work for someone else, so it was good research. Any research is good research.
She looks like she's probably studying somewhere in that STEM space, some medical deal, which I'm all for. I am all for that. If she's going to find a better way for people with ankle braces to actually be mobile and a better solution to what's out there, I feel like that's solving a problem. And in some ways, I feel like she's more of an entrepreneur who has a degree or is getting a degree in that specific specialty than anything else, because she's finding solutions. And I've always been for research and development and things like that. I always feel like those people are more entrepreneur-like. They're looking at problems and figuring how they can solve it to make people's lives better. Unfortunately, when you're working for a Fortune 500 company or a research facility, you may have spent so much time getting that information and finding that out, honey. But I'm going to tell you right now, they're not going to let you cake and eat off of it. They're not going to. Oh, no. And that's it. Like, to me, that's it. That's it. That's what you're hustling off. You're hustling off your freedom, your intellectual capability, your intellectual property, your ability to create that God gave you, and you're giving that to the employer, okay? You're making that exchange. And some people, they corporate sellouts, so they're going to do it. It's no problem. Not against you. I'm not hitting you. I'm just saying, if you do all of that, just think about the bag. Just think about the money you're going to make on the back end. And in this case, I think the intellectual capability of the intellectual property that she ends up producing down the line, right? I mean, I couldn't see myself like those guys over at Marvel making some of those Marvel superheroes, those characters. I couldn't see myself handing it over for the world to enjoy and then being put out because they doing cuts, and I don't get anything. Not one thing, my man. No, that is not the way life is designed. That's not it. Not for me, at least.
I also liked that our program was completely in person, so I was here since the beginning. My full 2 years were in person, and I was able to get hands-on right away.
But even here, the economics are getting worse.
The Department of Education has put caps on federal student loans for graduate programs.
Professor Nathan Kern says,
professions such as nursing, physical therapy, orthotics and prosthetics.
That's your field.
That is our field. They've taken away the professional degree designation.
And I think that needs to be rethought of, in my opinion, okay? And I know why they were doing it, because people will get the nursing degrees and they spend thousands and thousands to get it. And you have nurses that die every day and with extreme amounts of student loan debt. It happens, okay? Just because you become a nurse practitioner, RN, and you're making, some of these guys can make, depending on what city you're in, 300, 250, 200,000, doesn't necessarily mean you're going to pay all those debts off. You got quality of life. You got a lot of different things that's going on in cities. Living in California is more expensive than living in Georgia or living in Florida. Living in New York, more expensive than living in the Midwest. So you have all those different things. But I do think they need to rethink this professional designation for specific degree classes. And I think nursing is one of them. I do think robotics is another one.
So now we're considered a non-professional degree.
pricier loans for students due to Trump administration restrictions. For the schools, federal funding R&D cuts, even funding cuts at the state level.
The state does make an investment in EMU every year, absolutely. But if you go back to the 1970s, it was a very different ratio. Now, states just make much less of a contribution than they used to.
Now, there is one more major critique of higher ed that needs to be acknowledged, long made by conservative scholars like Peter Berkowitz.
Universities had begun to lose their way a long time ago, and over the last decade, we've seen even stronger attempts to regulate speech.
This is a critique the Trump administration has adopted as a reason for punishing universities by defunding them, further exacerbating, obviously, their economic woes.
We now confront a problem of viewpoint diversity on campuses, and from my point of view, a broken curriculum.
Which is what?
Yeah, viewpoint diversity is the biggest part. See, and it wasn't that Trump is wrong or any of this thing is crazy. It's more about viewpoint diversity. It has to be diverse. It has to be. If it's not, then we end up sending our children to what we have now, which is nothing more than an institutionalized system that's going to teach them specific things, and any other ideas or concepts that enter, they're gonna push them to the side and say they're not. Yeah, that's old, or that's a fable, or it's not. And it's crazy. There were a point in time I was doing some research at one time. It was interesting to find out that Harvard, Yale, some of these Ivy League schools were more biblically based schools at one time. It's crazy. They were biblically based. That means they were seminaries. Some of them were attached to seminaries and schools that really focused more on the spiritual or biblical portion, and then tied the education into it. And they found during that period that having some type of base understanding and respect for God, for the Creator, and knowledge of self and who you are helped you propel your education to the next level, because now you are self-aware, confident, or self-aware and sensitive to your design, how the Creator created you, doing less crazy stuff. I don't know. I mean, I don't know when it changed and when it switched. It's something good to go study. But it did bring me to the point of understanding that education has changed drastically since some of these schools became more public, I would say. They're still private, but I mean open and secular. I would say secular. That's the best word. Secular in nature. All right. I'm not going to go down the whole road with this. We spent enough time on this topic, I kind of feel. Spent the whole I spent a good amount of time on this topic. Because it just it interests me. At the end of the day, people are gonna make decisions in life, and we can't control what they do and how they do it. But if I can give you just a little bit more information, you'll be better off handling what's coming down the line. So let me make one little drop. I'm gonna do one reaction video to this because I thought that this lady's opinion, I thought what she was going through right now is crazy interesting. And I felt like I just needed to share this because right now you've got places charging people to actually have keys to get into their apartment. I'm talking about $45, $85, $100 a month just to have a key for the apartment that you leased already.
All right, a little story time about how capitalism completely destroys our ability to thrive, let alone survive. All right?
Why do y'all get on here and start bashing capitalism? Capitalism is the reason you can have this conversation. You know that, right? That's it. Now, there's crony capitalism. There's greedy capitalism. There's capitalism that's not focused on creating anything that's valuable to help people and change their lives, solving problems. We can talk about that. But to put capitalism in the same umbrella as all of that other stuff that's going on, that's disingenuous. But let's go.
So my apartment, I have been here for 4 years now. And when I first moved in, we had a fob system for locks, right? Little gray disc that you attach to your keychain and you just slap it up against the little magnetic-y thing and it unlocks the main door, your door, all those things. About a year and a half to 2 years ago, we all get an email from our apartment complex that
come on, keep going.
They are doing away with the fob system, and instead we are going to be on a phone app lock system. So fobs are going away. They're going to change out all the locks on every single door, and we're all going to be using this phone app moving forward. And they instituted this across, there's like over 200 apartments in my complex. It's a pretty big complex. And by and large, since this was installed, every single resident I talk to, we hate this app system. Absolutely hate it because, think about it, when I first moved in, if I get home and I've got arms full of, grocery bags and I'm by myself, all I have to do is hook my keys onto my finger and just slap the fob up against the magnetic thing and I can unlock the elevator, I can unlock my front door, no problem, right?
Oh.
Now what I have to do, arm full of groceries, is I have to get out my phone. I have to unlock it with my face. I have to go into the app. I have to make sure my Bluetooth is on because it only works if Bluetooth is on. And then I hold it up to the little reader thing on the door or in the elevator. It takes on average 3 to 5 seconds for it to register and unlock. So when you're in the elevator, it's a real time crunch because that elevator will just start moving regardless of whether or not you've unlocked it. So you might end up shooting past your floor if you couldn't get it unlocked fast enough. But mostly it's just cumbersome. It's a pain in the ass. No one likes, everyone complains about it. Every time you get to the elevator, people are like, I hate this system. I hate it so much. Also come to realize, right around the time that they put in this new lock system, they also started a new fee attached to our rent, which is called the Technology Connect fee. And the way they originally talked about it was, we're going to start offering internet as well, so that you don't have to go with any third-party internet providers, but that's totally optional if you want to opt in. A lot of us don't opt in. We use some of the more reliable providers that are around. But that technology fee still exists for everybody every single month. Because that technology fee pays for the app. The app to unlock the door. That technology fee is $85 a month.
And this is the Fugeezy. This is the Fugeezy. This is it. This is the okey doke. This is the bait and switch. This is what every person that has that's renting a place needs to keep an eye out for, because subscription services coming from your landlord will increase. Because they can't turn around and change the lease. You're already in the middle of that 1-year lease, right? But what they can do, you notice, they can change how you access some of the amenities in the building. And one of the amenities that they're changing access is the actual access amenity. No more fobs. Now, I grew up with key fobs, and I don't understand why a key fob is an issue. My dog is going crazy downstairs. But hey, it is an issue. It is an issue. For whatever reason, the belief is that a key fob is not good enough. Bro, I'm telling you. But that's what's going to happen. We had that same change on the real estate side. We ended up turning around and going from a real estate access key by GE to a real estate fob, app by GE. My opinion, when I had the access key, I was paying once a year like $60, $65. With this new app, we're paying $25 a month. Yeah, $25 a month. To access the same houses, the same way, no different. No added features, nothing really new. I mean, nothing really, really new. Oh, and by the way, also, there's a massively long code that that if you change phones and you re-up your key, you gotta also put that code back in for your key. Crazy talk. So I'm here, I'm with you, sis. I get it. And I did this so you can understand that these little fees, these subscription fees are only going to grow bigger. They're only going to grow better. And the only way you're going to stop that thing is to take a look at what you're actually paying for and see if it's actually worth it, because you're going to have to start paying $85 a month for that key. It ain't changing unless you're going to change the place. That's it. I think that this is a scam. I think she's being hoodwinked. I think anybody's being hoodwinked on this, because we did not sign, when we first did this, we did not sign an agreement saying that we would actually pay $85. They just hit y'all with the okie doke. They just hit you with the okie doke midway through your lease, midway through it. And the only way you're going to have them understand that what they're doing is crazy and out of pocket is for all of y'all, not one, not two, not just this video going viral, but for every person in that building, in all those apartment buildings, to reach out to the landlord and tell them, hell no, we want our key fobs back.
We all pay a subscription of $85 a month to unlock our fucking doors. $85 a month, almost $100 a month, not to live here, not for your rent, just to get in the fucking door.
No.
Because the apartment complex, without a vote from its residents, without anything, the property managers decided this is what we're doing now, and we're gonna charge you for it. But it'll be great because it's tech, it's high quality, blah, 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 blah. It's better than the fob system.
And nobody thought that we didn't sign up for this while you're giving it to us. That has to be some violation in whatever state you're in some of their laws. It has to be. Yeah, they have to be violating the lease some way. They have to be. There should at least be a choice between the two. Should be how we started, and if you want to come over here and do this. But I can tell you right now, this is not going away. This is what I believe is going to happen to the middle class, to the people in the middle, people in the lower class, because it's happening to the rich. Don't worry. If they got money and they're leasing a place, somebody's going to find a need that they have, and they're going to bring it to them, and they won't have a problem paying for it. They got the bread. But for the middle class, for the people who are lower class, for the people who are just struggling to get by, this will flip the tables for some people. And I don't mean in a good way. We're not talking about Jesus walking inside the doggone synagogue. I'm talking about flipping the tables and losing it. Because How can they afford $85 a month in addition just to enter the same unit that you're behind charged me? I signed a lease to have full unencumbered access to. I don't know. You tell me. I love when people get online and they talk about this. It's great, but it doesn't change anything. It doesn't change one bit what your landlord does. Your landlord is going to have another fee for you before that lease is over. And it might be to wash clothes. You might be using your Apple card or your phone, your Apple Pay or your Google Pay to swipe that washer in the dryer and for them to actually charge you. Trust me, people have already doing it. This is not brand new. I'm just talking about the Apple Pay portion. Okay? This is, to me, it's great to let people know and to be aware, but more importantly, you have to hear this and be prepared. Subscriptions are going to come after your money. Just know it. It's coming.
Meanwhile, the residents hate it. We don't like it. It's not reliable. It's a pain in the ass, and we pay almost $100 a month just to unlock our fucking doors to get into the homes that we reside in. This is capitalism in a nutshell. We're going to create a problem. We're then going to solve said problem that we created.
That's not capitalism. Why y'all keep making capitalism sound evil? That's not.
And then we're going to charge you for the solution.
See, if it's not a real problem and they're charging you for a solution of something they created, it's called a scam.
Congratulations. Well done.
Just take that as advice. It's called a scam. It's nothing more than a scam. You created a problem and then you're going to charge me to fix the problem you created for me. That's a scam. That's not capitalism. See, I love the fact that people can get on their phones made by Apple that they paid money to in order to FaceTime or to record, which they paid Apple, the product that Apple gave them, could do that. And that was all obtained through capitalist strategies. You determined that it was necessary for you not to have an old school flip phone, but you to have a phone that records and uploads directly to the internet. And God, I don't want it to flip. I want it to be straight. And I needed to recognize my face. Matter of fact, I needed to be a good quality camera. Damn, if that's not a problem, you tell me what is. I don't know what is. I don't know outside of that what is. But this is what we're faced with. And this is how it goes. And when you hate money, I'm going to tell you, when you hate capitalism and money, it's going to run from you. I'm going to tell you right now, it's going to run from you. If you hate capitalism and you hate when people make money from solving problems, I'm not talking about fictitious problems. I'm talking about real problems. If you hate when people make money from solving problems, money will never follow you. Tell me if you think I'm wrong. Leave a comment. I'm so 100% to hear it. Because you're not looking at the problem that needs to be solved. You're looking at the money that's spent. You hate money. You hate solving problems. You would rather attack capitalism and solve and capitalism and put it all under the same umbrella than to become self-aware that the way you increase your bottom line of income is to find somebody's problem, hint, hint, what you do on your job, a problem that needs to be fixed. They hired you to fix it. You can't find something that someone else needs to be fixed so they can hire you to actually fix it. Oh no. Oh no. You know, the crazy part about this is I get that some people will get it and some people won't get it. Some people will be upset and say, no, Leon, you're wrong. And some people will get it. Because I truly believe they've overcomplicated a lot of this stuff that's out here. And that's why people complain and get upset. Cost of living is not good. We can't keep up with the money. Da 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 da. And we all experience it. The ones that navigate through it sit back and say, how can I now begin to earn in this type of climate? Ding, 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 ding. Who got a problem they need to solve? That's it. They gave you something you didn't need, shorty. They gave you an app for a fob. It's a scam. You were good before that. That's not an upgrade. That's like Apple giving me my same phone when I bought the phone. Like I bought a new Apple phone and they said, okay, here's a new version of your same phone. Well, here's your phone. Here's a brand new phone that's the same make and model of your existing phone. Hold it. There's one caveat. There's one caveat to this. It turns on. Dude, come on, bro. Come on. Y'all know what I'm saying is right.
And when we talk about how people are struggling to just survive, let alone thrive, it's because of this kind of shit. It's because we have moved to this place where we own nothing. Everything is subscription based, even being able to get into your front door.
I agree with her on that. A lot of freaking subscriptions. The whole goal is for you to own nothing and to be very, very happy. It's not that shit that's causing all of this stuff to happen. It's the inability to say no to it, to garner for everybody to get together in your apartment complex to say no to it. That is what's causing it. And things like that. Because I will damn well not subscribe or let loose a subscription or just say, hey, I don't want to be a part of something if it's going to charge me a stupid amount or charge me an amount that I'm supposed to already get for free. Like some of y'all dealing with the doggone car subscriptions.
Is on a subscription that if you don't pay, you don't even get into your own goddamn home.
And nobody's challenging that. And so you're only going to make TikTok videos. You're only going to complain about it. And I'm only going to stand here and react to your complaining. Hey, like, subscribe, follow for more content. I've reached that hour-and-a-half mark, and I'm about to dip. I'm going to be out. I appreciate everybody taking the time to watch this. I hope you got some value from it. We got some new clips that's going to be dropping, some reaction videos, because I'm going to be talking about stuff like this and some of them. Whenever it's good, I want to share it. Like, subscribe, follow. I'll see you guys on the next stream. I'm thinking about doing one tomorrow because I missed the Monday. I'll let you know. You'll see it. All right. Peace. You guys be blessed. Remember, you good just the way you are. Forget about these jokers. They don't know what they're talking about. God love you just the way you are. Keep rocking.